What's up?
What's up? How's it going?
Doing good.
That's good.
Doing our first podcast.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's exciting.
We can't just pretend like we tried this how many times now? A few times.
Well, a few times. We did one long one last night, and then
yeah.
I think there were 5 other takes before that.
We had issues with the microphones.
Yeah.
We blabbed a little bit.
Yeah, definitely a lot of blabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like no one talks about how hard it is because obviously both of us can hold a conversation in real life.
Yeah.
But when when you click record, it's like you forget how to speak.
Yeah, it's way different. Yeah. It's even different too than like just recording a video and
yeah, because we're both kind of
editing.
used to that a little bit. You more than me, but yeah.
Yeah, that way you can take like different takes and stuff, but
Yeah, exactly.
everything's live right now.
It's live. So let's introduce ourselves so that everyone knows who we are.
Sure.
So this is the Talk of the Town podcast. My name is Julie.
My name's JT.
And we are the owners of Lime Media.
Lime Media is our social media management company that we started together.
Yes. About 2 months ago.
Yep.
Fresh still.
Still fresh, still learning a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing.
It's been going good though.
It's been great. Yeah.
We both kind of had this mutual love of social media just through our own experiences and businesses. And that's kind of why we got started with Lime Media. So talk about your background first and kind of how you got started with all this.
Yeah, so I went to Geneseo, which is up in Rochester, New York. Really close to getting that lake effect snow, but like not quite there. But definitely got the cold weather. There's some pretty chilly days up there.
Yeah.
I went up there for accounting and I played soccer there, which was a lot of fun. And got my CPA, joined the corporate world straight after. I went to KPMG, which is a big accounting firm.
Yeah.
New York City. Yeah, and then from there, I kind of started when COVID hit. So I think I was in the office for like 5 months, and then COVID hit. So I think like a lot of people, I was at home and kind of reevaluating like everything.
Yeah. I think a lot of people went through that.
Yeah, and I felt like up until that point, my life was kind of on like a kind of like an automated track. Like I kind of felt like I was just doing what I thought I should be doing.
Yeah.
And maybe not what I wanted to do particularly. Yeah. And
it's so funny because you go through college and you're studying for this one thing, and then you get to that one thing and you get to your job and you're there all day, and then you get home and it's like, I don't even know if I like this.
yeah.
And it's a little bit like disappointing, and you're just a little bit upset with yourself maybe in the world because you just spent all this time, and it's like you don't want to just give up on it, but at the same time it's like, am I going to live the rest of my life like this?
Right. Yeah.
It's a little bit depressing, honestly.
It can be. I think it's sometimes can feel like time wasted, but it's never time wasted because you're always like learning lessons and getting closer.
Yes.
To what you actually want to be doing.
Yeah.
So,
and needless to say, also, like, we're going to talk a lot about entrepreneurship and, working for yourself. I think 9-to-5s are still great and they're very needed, and there's a lot of people that are happy in them. So we never want to say that
absolutely
they're the worst thing in the world, but just for us personally, we both kind of knew that we wanted something more. So maybe talk a little bit about why you decided that you wanted to work for yourself and how you got started with that.
Yeah, I guess like during COVID, like I had a buddy that was, like stocks were really hot at that time, and I had a buddy that was like talking to me about all this stock stuff, and I was so interested. It was just
I feel like that's like the gateway for a lot of people.
For sure. Yeah. I had that like a while back and it kind of fizzled, and I was so interested. We were like following all this stuff, like a lot of people were, and that interest kind of like faded for me. But I think the interest of like doing something outside of work to like having other professional interests and being able to like make money on the side was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
It kind of led me to real estate. Listen to probably 100 hours of Dave Ramsey podcasts. And yeah, I just went down that rabbit hole too. I'm still interested in real estate today. But that was like kind of like a big starting point for me.
Yeah.
And just seeing like what is out there. Like I bought my first house in 2022.
Nice. Yeah.
And so that was like really cool, like renting that out and seeing like income coming in from there.
Yeah.
And I kind of just was starting to think, well, maybe I can work for myself too and do a job, you know.
Yeah, I feel like once you get kind of a taste of passive income and kind of what that is like, and then you start to look at your day job and you're like, oh man, you're really working for every dollar that you're making. Whereas with owning a business, the time spent sometimes and the amount of money that you can make is very drastic compared to a 9-to-5. It's very different.
Yeah.
I mean, usually business owners are very hardworking and they work a lot of long hours. So maybe it doesn't always equate, but at least you're working for yourself. And there's some sort of pride in that you don't always get with a 9-to-5.
Yeah. And that's what's cool about like owning a business is that your salary is not capped. Like when you work for a company, your salary.
I remember you telling me that like really early on.
Yeah.
And that's like an interesting perspective.
Right. And which I don't want to make that sound like it's terrible. Like it is good in a different way because when your salary is capped, that also means that you have like a floor because when you have a certain level of experience, like you're worth a certain amount of dollars in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So, but the range is like very finite.
Yeah.
But when you own a business, it's whatever you make of it. Like if I was working at a W-2, like I couldn't say that like I did a really good job, so I think I should make $500,000 this year. Like it just doesn't work that way. I'd have to work for 15 years and become, CFO of a company. And but when you're in a business, like there's no cap on your salary. And
so tell everyone what business you own, because I don't think we mentioned that yet.
Yeah, sure. So I own Bullseye Bookkeeping, and that kind of just stemmed from an interest in working with small business owners. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like accounting. Like I actually do enjoy accounting. I think you can attest to like how much I'm talking about hanging out and playing in Excel. So I really do like accounting. I think that was a good transition for me because it allowed me to still do accounting work, but also be on my own too. So that's where I'm at. Yeah. How about you? Do you want to tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. So I went to school in Boston at Massachusetts College of Pharmacy. It's a health science school. I studied radiation therapy, and then got my master's there as well in healthcare management. And then I moved back to Jersey and I started working at a local hospital. I did that for 4 years as a radiation therapist. It was stressful to say the least, especially during the pandemic. I got burnt out, and just in general working with, sick patients. It's very taxing on your emotions, your body, and I was working very long hours. It's tough because I really enjoyed it at the same time, as weird as it sounds. I think helping people, and I give a lot of respect to healthcare workers because it is a very tough job. But I felt a little bit lost because I was torn. I loved my job, but at the same time, I was equally unhappy. In my personal life and just in my career, I felt a little bit lost. So I think throughout my life, I always played with the idea of owning a business, whether it was like having a lemonade stand or, selling something like little handmade bracelets. I always just had a passion and I tried different avenues. I thought maybe I would go into real estate or I would, open up some sort of business. And then eventually I landed on a jewelry company. And this was something that I knew I always wanted to do. I have been a lover of jewelry since I was young. And I finally decided to take the leap. So I own Link Up Jewelry. It's a New Jersey based permanent jewelry company. It was, I believe, the first one in New Jersey. Not confirmed, but I scoured the internet and believe I was the first one. So I started that about 2 years ago. And yeah, it's been amazing. I slowly transitioned. I was working full time at the hospital, and then I eventually went part time, and I was kind of doing both, you know, side by side. And then eventually I decided to part ways with the hospital and start, you know, working with my company full time. And it's just been incredible. It's been a lot of fun, and it's such a creative outlet. And we both, you know, common denominator with our businesses, we both use social media as the tool to, in your case, get clients. And then for me, showcase and kind of advertise my products and services. Yeah. So we both love social media. Neither of us have marketing degrees.
Nope.
We don't have a background in that. We kind of just over time fell into this.
Yeah. Trial by fire.
Yeah.
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 And I think that kind of doing the marketing ourselves, like when we work in a business, we're really like the jack of all trades. And
Yes. Yeah.
so you kind of have to learn that, or you
Yeah.
won't succeed in different ways. So
Yeah.
I think we have very unique experience doing our own marketing for over a year
Yeah.
each now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both on the younger side. We know how technology works. We're both on social media personally.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up in that age of making videos and watching videos and socializing online. So we kind of get it, you know.
Yeah. And you were making videos from a young age.
Yeah. I was an
Yeah.
aspiring YouTuber. I really enjoyed making videos. I begged my mom to buy me Final Cut Pro. I took classes in school about like video making. I really was obsessed with it. So I think that was also like another underlying thing that we both kind of had, was just growing up online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like you kind of said, like there's no time like ever wasted. Like everything that you do in your life, whether it seems small, it always is leading up to something bigger. Like all those hours that I thought it was silly making those videos, like it led me to here somehow.
Yeah.
And you doing all those other businesses, whether it was stocks or real estate, and learning about all that kind of stuff led you to this, which is so interesting.
Yeah. It all leads you somewhere. And I
Yeah.
think that's like a good perspective to have, because like, I think there's a fear a lot of times with people that they want to start a business, but then they don't.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest reason is that people fear that they're going to waste their time.
Yeah.
And there really is no time wasted as long as you're doing something. Like
Yeah.
if you're doing something, then you're creating, you're exploring, you're learning,
Yeah.
and it's not time wasted. So
Yeah.
as long as you're doing something and not doing nothing,
Yeah.
I think you can pull some value from it.
Yeah, even if it's just a hobby. Like I feel like as you get older, you kind of lose some of those fun things you do as a kid. And, you know, you're working a lot, it's stressful. You don't really
Yeah.
have time to do the fun things that you want to do. So even just staying consistent with your hobbies and, you know, kind of starting there, it's like, what do you love? What do you love spending your time doing? And try to see if you can kind of make something out of that.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So that kind of leads us to, why are we starting this podcast? Why are we here talking?
Yeah, I think even before that we started our business, we had talked about like this really cool idea where we would drive around the country and we would meet all these
Yeah.
different business owners from different places and give them a spotlight that they haven't had before.
Yeah.
Because like the way we thought about it is like there are so many cool business owners that are not on social media, they're not doing marketing,
Yeah.
but they still have really cool stories, they still
Yeah.
have a giant client base.
Yeah. And you always wonder, like, how did they get to this point? You see the
Yeah.
success, you see like this amazing business, and you're like, oh, it must have been so easy for them. And it's like, no, a lot of these people probably went through a lot of different things. And both of us our networks are very vast, and we know a lot of different business owners, young, old, and their stories are just incredible. So to have a platform to be able to showcase, New Jersey-based business owners, and then hopefully eventually, business owners all over, that's kind of why we're starting this. We think it's kind of very needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we figured we'd start in our own backyard because we love New Jersey. We've been here our whole lives, and we know there's so many great businesses here.
Yeah.
We could do years of episodes just on all the cool businesses in New Jersey. So
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess whether you're looking to just kind of get some insight about some of your favorite businesses, or you're kind of starting to look into getting into entrepreneurship and owning your own business, we kind of hope that this podcast kind of inspires you to do that. And we're so excited to meet a bunch of people. And if you guys have recommendations on who you want us to talk to, we would love to hear your suggestions. Where can they find us? We're pretty much on everything, right?
Yeah, so we're going to post all of our episodes on YouTube. So not sure where you listen to this, but if you're not on YouTube, it will be on YouTube.
Yes. We'll have some behind the scenes as well on YouTube of some of the businesses that we go to.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. We have to mention, we're going to be filming. So right now we're at home. We're not going to be filming all of our episodes here.
No, maybe some, but
not all. But we're going to actually be filming and recording the episodes at the actual business, which we think is so cool. We're going to be in their territory, and they'll be able to kind of talk to us there. And we're excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a big part of what's going to make this unique is getting like an inside look at different businesses, and from the business owner's perspective, being able to share that will be really cool.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
So you guys can follow us on Instagram. Our social media company is at The Lime Media on Instagram. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook if you want to follow us there. And then our podcast Instagram is Talk of the Town _ podcast. We're also on YouTube, same name. And then Spotify. Yes. You can also find us on Spotify as well. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening, and you can subscribe as well. That way you kind of get some updates when we post. We're hopefully going to be posting once a week. That's our goal.
It'll be a mix. We're going to be doing like as many businesses as we can cover, but we also will be doing some episodes,
some solo episodes,
just us. Yeah, back in the studio here.
The studio. All right, well, I think that wraps this up, right?
Yeah. See you later, guys.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
That was so good.
Yeah, that was good.